want to call it a poncho, but I don't
It
know
is
if
a
that's
poncho.
it's very cute, very flattering,
Yes,
and
well,
very cozy.
little winter fairy.
Yes. Oh, it is working. I think it's gonna work.
Yay!
All right, awesome. Let me just, yeah, it says it's being sent, right? I'll go ahead and
Yes, we are
record it just
so,
in case.
yeah, just got an alert.
Woo!
Woohoo.
Oh, you know what it's doing? I can hear it. Okay. All right. Now we're good to go. Welcome, Lori.
Hi, Kara.
So, thank you everybody who is watching this. We are live streaming this on YouTube or whether you're watching the recording. My name is Kara Goodwin, and I'm the host of the Meditation Conversation, which is soon to be Soul
Soul
Elevation.
evolution. I know, I want to say
Eleva
elevation, evolution.
I know. You know what? It is elevation,
Okay.
but when I was first playing with it, I kept saying evolution. And then other people have said like, "Oh, I love soul evolution." And I'm like, "Me too, but I'm going with soul elevation." But they're very close together.
Yeah.
But they were getting like mixed up in my mind too. But I think the reason is because I always say like, "Welcome to the meditation conversation, the podcast to support your spiritual revolution."
Oh,
So there's like and that's intentionally why I didn't choose evolution because I
yeah.
already kind of used the revolution thing, and I'm just wanting to kind of anyway
I love
until
it. Maybe you should buy
things
both
unwind.
domains just in case.
Yeah, right, right.
Redirect.
Yes, that's smart.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yes, so transitioning to soul elevation, but at the moment, as we're
Yes.
recording this, still the meditation conversation. So Lori and I have been doing lives regularly and just kind of bringing in the inspiration that's coming in every week. And today we're going to talk about these astrological changes, massive astrological changes this week. And what this means for people. So, and how they're
Mhm.
showing up. So, I'm going to defer to you on this because I know that you know more than me about this, the Capricorn and all of this. I just haven't had my finger on the pulse as much with it.
Yeah.
So offer what your understanding is and what the opportunity is here.
Yeah. Well, I always put the caveat out there. Astrology, I know enough about it to kind of just be dangerous.
Me too. That's how I feel.
Right? I'm like, I know my chart, I know my stuff really well, but Pluto leaving Capricorn, that happened on Tuesday, the 19th. My days are messed up this week, so forgive me if something's off there, but um it ended a 16-year cycle. So Pluto is like the planet of transformation and rebirth and growth. It's just that kind of like planet that kind of does all the cool stuff, which that's always funny to me why they tried to kind of get rid of Pluto. What was it like in 2020? It's a dwarf planet. We
No,
don't need
no
it
longer a
anymore.
planet.
Yeah,
Nothing
like
happened to it, just
no,
our understanding of it as humans. We're like, nah, let's degrade that one.
we're good. Like we've got plenty. We'll just
We got
like poor
so
Pluto.
many planets. So,
Yeah. Well, we can just nix one. I mean, it's
right.
just so funny to me, but it's because it's a big planet. It's tiny but big, because it holds a lot of stuff. And so with it being in Capricorn, Capricorn, because I'm a Capricorn rising, Pisces sun, Aquarius moon. So this is kind of fascinating, this transit, because we literally went out of Capricorn, which is kind of the Capricorn is the get it done. I always think of it as like a project manager type sign where you're perfectionistic, you're hard on yourself, you get things done, you can be reliable, counted on, all that kind of stuff. Um, so with it moving out of that and into Aquarius, that's a big deal, because it's ushering in kind of that age of Aquarius, which, some people think we went into that in 2012, 2020, but Pluto officially going into it, I believe just kind of helps signify that big change for all of us. Um, of really ushering in, these 5D energies, moving into the Aquarian age of Aquarius, golden age, all of this stuff. So it was in Capricorn for 16 years. So if kind of look back to what happened in your life in 2008 and see kind of what's gone on from 2008 to now, and it's affected all of us, but apparently whatever the four cardinal signs are, it really affected them even more so. which I'm probably going to butcher this, but I know it's Capricorn. Um, I think Aries, I think Virgo. I'll have to look up what the if you're a cardinal sign, you would probably know that.
Mhm.
And but they were saying like it's whether it was sun, moon, or rising. So whatever your top, three are, if you're affected by that. So I really felt it. Like on Tuesday, I felt this big release. It kind of felt like, whew, like boxes are ticked. I have completed a lot of stuff, a lot of rebirth, growth, transformation, closure. I felt that energetically occur for me, and many others that I've talked to. So it's a cool time. It kind of the energy now I feel like is kind of like, all right, now it's time for the good stuff. Like almost like we've ate our vegetables. Let's go have dessert.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how my vibe has been since that completion feeling. So
I
yeah,
love
that's what I kind of know about it. So yeah.
I love that. For me, I get the sense of an unwinding,
Hmm.
kind of in the solar plexus area, but that when you're talking about like completion and all of that, that resonates as well. And I did you say that people that you've been talking to, they've been feeling the shift too? And was it
Yep.
also in the dream state?
The dream state has been very interesting for me. I told you that one where I dreamt about, it was, I think Sunday night, I had this dream about a baby and it was like the
Yes.
coworker, it was supposedly one of my clients' babies. It's not even a client that I have, but it was this marketing client that I was seeing and I was holding her baby. But it was this continual theme of rebirth, excitement, transformation, changes, new changes coming for the better. It doesn't feel like it has that energy of like, hey, let's throw one more out at you and see how you do. It doesn't have this lesson energy. It has more of this like, let's change for the better. Like, let's bring some blessings and abundance and excitement into your life in a good way. So
Mm.
yeah.
I love that. And just for how people might be experiencing that. So I know for me this week, I have just felt exhausted at certain points to where yesterday in the middle of the morning, which is not a tired time for me. Like if you get me into like early afternoon sort of time,
Mhm.
then I do start to just naturally feel like, oh, I'm feeling like I've been awake for a while now.
Yes, yes.
But like in the morning, I don't really feel tired. I stood up to I think let one of my animals out or something or in or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, can I even take another step? Like I have to lay down right now. And
Yep.
I held it together, but it was like my energy just went right. It just left and it left
Mhm.
fast. And I really was like, am I even going to be able to keep walking across the room? And then
Yep.
it took some willpower to be like, nope, I'm okay. I'm okay. But, and that's happened a few times where I am at weird times for me where I am like just instantly exhausted, like
Hmm.
exhausted. And, so I just offer that in case anybody else is feeling that because that's an unusual feeling for me, but to where I'm
Hmm.
like, what just happened?
Hmm.
You know?
I had that yesterday too. What time
Did
like
you?
was that? Do you remember? On Eastern time, I guess.
I want to say it was like 11
Yeah,
in that
that
sort of time. Really?
I actually left the go to the coffee shop and work, and I was up there, and I got so like discombobulated, feeling I got really tired, but my head was so fuzzy, and I was just wiped out, and I it just felt dysregulated. And I
Hmm.
was like, I think I need to go ahead and leave, and I did. I got up and left, came home, and had to lay down and just do that whole thing too. And I mean, I know flares and stuff have been coming in, but this is a really like rapid time. Like the time has been really weird this week where you feel like you've missed a day. It's very, very interesting. I've had that happen here and there, but not to this degree where I was like confused, but almost to the point where I was like, I didn't even care to try and figure out what day or time it was because it just it was
Didn't
like
matter.
didn't matter. I kept sitting there yesterday and I was like, it's Wednesday. It's okay, it must be Wednesday. I finally just had to let it go because I was like, I have no idea what day it is. It's like whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I know with my dreams scape, I was like, state, yes, but dreamscape. I shared with you that last night had very vivid, it felt like a dream screen. And if there's anybody listening who has not heard of a dream screen, this is where you feel like you're having a dream, but it feels as though there might be something else going on, and our conscious awareness is almost like putting a putting a human experience screen over the top of it so that our human part can relate to it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm in a movie theater or I'm on a plane.
Mhm.
And this was one of the aspects of my dream, and you were in it.
Mhm.
And Vess it was in it, who
Mhm.
is connected to you. And then there was another person related to you who maybe I knew in the dream, but I can't remember now who it was. Um, but it was a combination of I think we started on an airplane, but the aisles kept getting wider and wider and wider.
Yes.
And before I knew it, I was like, this is like a movie theater, but it's a plane.
Yep.
And then, just some little details that I shared with you about that. But that to me, especially because I had a very significant dream, a couple of dreams before that, where
Mhm.
I did wake up right after that, and I was like, okay, should I get up and write this down?
Yeah.
But it was like, nope, just remember it. And I was like picking these elements out to be like, remember that, remember that. And I just kind of had faith that I would remember it. And I remembered it really well when I woke up. Of course, who knows
Yeah.
how much I forgot, because you don't know, right? You
Yeah.
don't know what
You
you're
don't
going
know
to
what you don't
remember.
remember.
Right.
Yeah.
But with that dream, it felt like I was saying to you when I shared my recording today, I was like, I feel like we might have been on a starship together. And but the dream that I have, like the memory that I have of it, or how my human brain interpreted it, was airplane/movie theater, you know?
Yes. Yeah, that's so
Um,
funny. I wonder how many other people, because I've always had the air, I'll think it's almost like a cargo airplane. It will present something like that. And then it's almost like, no, I think we're in a ship, and you'll start to see it more like that, where it'll feel, again, more expansive. You'll start to kind of feel the aisles. I actually have a poem, I think it's in my first book that I channeled I think it's, I can't remember the title, but it's about like come rest up here. I think maybe the title or something like that. But I will always have like that experience where I'm in a ship or I'm in a plane. And then, yes, I'm asleep and I'm resting, but I know it. And then I'm watching something or experiencing something. So the way you describe that dream screen thing and putting like an overlay on it for the human brain to kind of get it. Oh my gosh, that was
yes.
perfection. I think that's
Oh,
exactly how it feels.
thank you. And right when you said that, I got this flash of white light, like just right to the right of my computer. So I think we're like onto something that
Yeah.
other beings like.
I kind of lifted up at that moment and I was going to say something. And I was like, no, I'll just keep going because I got
Yeah.
really light feeling and like as if I
Oh,
was like levitating when I started talking about being on the ship and being so relaxed. And like, yeah, it's like they let that. I always look at that as kind of like, here's your rest time, Lori, like come up here and, take a nap, that's kind of some of the words, like be cradled and held, like something to that. But you have an experience, like you're experiencing something somewhere else. Now I've had very astral projection, lucid type situations where I know I've been on a ship where I have felt
mhm.
that. Like I'll feel myself like almost like laying down and looking up and seeing it that way. And that's a different experience than this dream screen thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd love if you're for those who are watching, if you can
Mhm.
relate to this and you have these kind of recurring dreams, or you're having a lot of dreams where you're in a plane, in a movie theater, please comment, because I'm fascinated by this. So I
Mhm.
would love to see, like, how is this showing up for you? Do you relate to this? Do you relate to the concept of a dream screen?
Mhm.
And the other one that shows up, I think the one that shows up the most frequently for me is cruise ships. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm on a cruise ship, which is interesting because that's a massive, massive ship. And there are so many people, there are so many levels,
Yeah.
there are lots of like hallways, and there are just so many beings around. And so I wonder, because I mean, I know when I'm experiencing them, they feel like dreams, but I
Mhm.
have constant, constant dreams about cruise ships. And um And so, and just thinking about the nature of like big starships, like
Yes.
I could see that there are a lot of beings on there. They're very spacious, they're open, but they are contained, and there are a lot of hallways and all of these things. So that's another one I want to throw out there in case anybody also is like, "Oh my gosh, I dream about cruise ships all the time," and what you think about the fact that you dream about those all the time. I'm curious
Yeah.
about.
That's interesting because when the cruise ship and then like a plane or a cargo plane or a spaceship, that's I always feel like that does feel almost more literal. Well, oftentimes when I dream about a house and I have those hallway things and all that, I always see like house dreams as the subconscious. It's almost like you're going into different layers, and that's how mine will present. Oftentimes when I'm doing dream interpretation for people, if they start talking about a house, I'm like, okay. And if they start talking about the basement or the
Yeah,
attic,
or the attic. Yes.
it's very like,
Yep.
oh, I know where we're going with this. So,
Yes.
but cruise ships and planes seem to be a different ball game. They don't seem to be connected to the subconscious of like we're going to give you a metaphorical meaning, they seem to
Mhm.
feel more literal of like,
This
watch
is what your
this.
consciousness is
Yes.
doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
love dreams. They're so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Oh,
awesome.
well, I think this is we've packed a lot in to
Yeah.
a short time. But this feels like a good point to
Yeah.
pause and we'll pick this back up next time. But thank you
Yeah.
so much, Lori. I love spending time with you and connecting with you and the people who are watching. So thank you so much.
Likewise, I love it. Hi to everybody. And I want to hear the comments too, so I'll be looking at to read those.
Awesome. Thanks. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.